Hartford County.
Cool. And what do we got over here?
Okay, and I usually tell them about the benches here because these are the original balcony seats of this when it was a church.
So this was all open here?
Under my feet here, there's another row of these seats that are sunk, that are down farther between the floor and the ceiling. They covered them up when they put the floor in, after they had moved it over here.
Huh.
You can sit on the seats and see what they feel like. They're not very comfortable. People would have to sit for 3 to 4 hours at a time, have lunch and come back for more. And of course, with no heat and no air conditioning, it wasn't always very comfortable. And the box that they kept their feet warm with is under the table downstairs, the communion table. The dresses, probably from the mid to late 1800s. And the two that we call wedding dresses, they were wedding dresses. Women didn't wear white then. Queen Victoria of England started that tradition. And most women still couldn't afford to have one dress that they would wear and not wear again, or not very practically wear it, so they just wore their very best clothes. The ones that are the most worn are the ones that were the wedding dresses. You notice the buttons are missing, and they're probably not as in good a condition as, look at this one. Every
Now,
button's
when did
on
they
it.
change to white?
In the 1800s. I don't remember what year Queen Victoria was married.
Okay.
1850s maybe? I don't remember. So,
What's that big
I
thing
have to
back
be
there?
honest. Spinning wheel? Oh. There's one there and there's one down there. This one is probably older from the looks of it.
Most houses probably
that's
had those.
What you can see the wool hanging on it, and this would turn the wool into yarn.
Do you know when they use those? Up to when, probably?
Some women still use spinning wheels that grow their own sheep and process their own yarn. There are people that have gone back to those.
They're probably up
probably up into the 1800s.
1850s or so. And how about these toys? When are these from?
I don't know,
No. Cool.
to be honest. Some of them could have even been from the 1900s. I had a little ironing board like that when I was a little girl. That would have been the 40s.
Like that, made of wood?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And
Of course, they could have been it could have been my sisters from the 30s, because they were older than I.
I
And then
remember
the-
that from, I think we had those in the
We had
schools in
those
the
desks when I was in
the
school.
50s and the 60s,
And they
50s.
probably were from earlier, but they just kept them till they fell apart.
Those ice skates are pretty cool.
Yeah, aren't they? They remind me of the book I read, Hans Brinker and the Silver Skates. It was about a Dutch boy who lived on the Hudson River. Or no, in Holland.
On the front cover, they have a little boy skating.
And there were
Probably, I
pictures
think
inside, but the canals in the Netherlands or Holland froze over, and in the winter that was the way for people to get from one place to the other. And he only had wooden skates in the story, I remember, and he won the prize of silver skates.
Do you know if those are from Springfield?
I have no idea.
Because they made those up in Springfield.
I could
Pretty
pick
cool.
it up, I suppose. I don't know.
Wow, those are one of the early ones.
Oh, screw, it must have gone into the
Wow,
shoe.
made of metal too.
Yeah.
They don't say. Wow, those are pretty neat. Thank you.
Those probably they're really old too. I'm afraid to even touch these.
And they got Raggedy Ann over there too. Yeah, those
Those
are
are
what,
nice.
laces. Yeah.
Those are from my time. My father had.
Your father really?
My father would go skating with me. He taught me how to. This is the original wood.
Now,
from
any
the
idea what
building.
this is?
All this wood in front of the pews, the balcony pews, is the original wood, and all the wood up behind is it's pumpkin pine, and it was a common wood in colonial times. And as you can see, it was very durable.
They have a hatch here.
That just goes to a crawl, like a crawl
Crawl
space.
space.
It's about this deep. It's not, because I've opened it up for people and then I had trouble getting it back. And the Bible.
Any
I can't remember
significance to all
what
this
it
fancy
is.
stuff? Oh, 19th
It's
century lusterware.
lusterware, and I don't know anything about
It was
it, to be
19th
honest.
century.
And this is a Bible.
Probably a Bible
Table.
stand that people,
stand, yeah,
people
they would
probably
keep
had
them-
those in their
They
house.
had these big Bibles then,
Yeah.
and they would keep all the information on births and deaths and everything in there.
yeah.
This is a weasel. And if you ever heard the song Pop Goes the Weasel, this is where it came from, actually. And all children had a job. Doesn't matter how young they were, they had to help out in the house. And this is something even the younger children could do safely. And the kids are allowed to touch this and turn it. You can see the wooden cogs, the gears here.
Yeah.
And after you would attach the yarn, there would be a pile of it. And after this had popped 7 times, you knew you had a skein of yarn, which is still the measurement of yarn today.
Huh. So it
And-
pops every,
After, here, I'll see if
7
I can get
times?
it, this is squeaky. I let the kids do it so they can, and they're allowed to touch this. 7 pops is actually 280 turns of the handle. And the kids couldn't,
oh, I thought you only had to turn it 7 times.
no, you have to have it pop
Wow.
7 times.
Oh my
And I haven't
goodness.
gotten to the first pop here.
Wow.
And they would sing while they were doing it to occupy themselves. And one of the songs was Pop Goes the Weasel, because it would pop. There it is.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Just get started again. These kids are probably going to want to do it. And this is just another spinning wheel that the yarn was made on. I don't know the years on these things. These are
Little chairs.
These were so attractive, and the old trunks where people would store clothes and things because they didn't have closets back then. So they had these, or the armoires, the big wooden. This is the motorized fire truck that
Any idea?
Enfield had. And they say, I don't know what year, but this is what the fireman that came to talk to us said was the first motorized fire truck in the United States.
Oh, cool. Must be
And
early
it was
1900s
because
then.
the guy who owned the Bigelow carpet mills didn't want his mills to burn, so he furnished the very best firefighting equipment for the Thompsonville Fire Department.
Oh.
And this is a nozzle.
Whoa, that's
that
a
goes
big
on
nozzle.
fire hose.
That's a big,
Yeah, probably 2 or 3 people had to hold the thing. And there's the hose and
portable
the
one.
firebox. This would be in the fire station. And the box, when you would pull the handle, a number would come up from wherever you were. Each box had a number. And when you pulled the alarm, the number would come up in the station on this, and they would know by the number where the nearest location of the box was to the fire.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, my son told me that one. He was a volunteer fireman, the oldest one.
Cut north.
And this is,
1917, number 6.
and there are still Flanagans in the Hazardville Fire Department. And I have matching there related. No, I'm going to show you the type.
Boy,
that's
we
what I
do
wanted
sure do have a
before
lot
they
of-
got here, change the papers in those typewriters.
Okay, this is all for the fire department. And
Yeah.
let's turn around.
And these are business machines,
Whoa, look at
telephones.
home.
I actually, my mother had one like, I remember when I was 9, we had one like that in Albany, and it only had 4 digits to the phone
Oh,
number.
wow. What year was that roughly?
952?
52? Did you have a
Because I
party?
remember the house we lived in.
Did you have a party line or just your own private line?
Not in that house, but I remember where we lived up in Whitehall, New York, we had a party line. And my sisters were always on the phone, so my parents had to get rid of it and pay for a private one because the party people that shared it were upset because they could never use the phone. My sisters they're 7 and 9 years older than I am.
Oh, these are
And
Underwood.
this, I don't know what year this one is. The one over there is 1920.
But these were made right in Hartford, Connecticut.
Right, right.
What is this
And
funny looking
this-
machine?
I don't know what that is.
Oh,
A
label.
tag and label
Monarch
maker.
Junior
Yeah.
Tag and label.
And then this is the dictation system, the Ediphone. And,
Introduced in 1916? Wow.
and they're the wax cylinders that it would.
The wax, they record it right onto the wax.
And I think what they did is they could clear them afterwards and reuse them. I'm not sure on that.
Yeah, that was a shaping mechanism.
Yeah.
And then they could listen to it on that. What is it? Oh, I don't know. It's the same machine.
I don't know what they listen to it on.
Oh, there's the
This is-
shaver right there. This is the, they call it
Shaver.
utility shaver so
Shaver.
that you can reuse them.
Right, and clean them off.
Cool.
And that is the check maker, and we've had people come in here and say, my boss still has one of those. Seriously, small business, and
Yeah.
they just never did away with it.
And
The
this
adding
adding
machines,
machine.
instead of a calculator, this is what you used.
Wow, amazing.
I think they're here. I have to change the paper in the typewriters before they come up here. I should have done it.